Greetings and welcome to Hexed Encountered. I'm Joe. In this video, we are going to be taking a look at some new arrivals here. This is all from GMT, from this latest batch, or the latest batch of P500. So I got, well, 5 items, but it's really 4 in an addition, I guess you could say. So in the interest of keeping this short, because it's just to show the games, and we'll do content on them later on, let's get underway here. So the first one I'm going to show, and I need to zoom out here, is Seljuk. This is Byzantium Besieged, 1068 to 71. This is Levy and Campaign Series, Volume 5. That, of course, was created by Volko Runka, and this particular edition has been designed by Justin Facino. And as is usually the case with these games, the box is nice and chunky. Nice big box here, as you can see. Go to the back. Let me center that up a little bit better. There we go. So this, as you may guess from the name, takes place with the Eastern Roman Empire, or the Byzantine Empire, if you prefer. Constantinople, 1068, Roman Emperor Romanus Diogenes ascends the throne thanks to the schemes of his new wife. He's beset on 2 fronts, politically by his rivals at court, and militarily by waves of invaders under Turkic banners. Century of prosperity for the Roman Empire is coming to an end as the great cities of Eastern Anatolia burn, their treasures and populations carried off to enrich Muslim courts in the east. Okay, so Seljuk Byzantium Besieged is, as I mentioned, the 5th volume in Volko Runka's Levy and Campaign series, bringing the drama and conflict of the medieval age to the crossroads of Europe and Asia. So what do we have in this box? We've got one 25.5 by 22-inch map board, 170 wood pieces, 138 cards, 17 cardboard Lord and battle mats, 3 full color counter sheets, 2 fold-out player aids, 1 Lord sticker sheet, 2 screens, a rules booklet, a playbook, and 6 six-sided dice. This is a mid complexity, and it does have a solo mode, so it gets a 7 on the solitaire suitability scale, and our unit scale 1 to 3,000 infantry or cavalry, and a time scale of 3 months per turn. So I will be doing something on this. I do have all of the games in the Levy and Campaign series. I don't think I've ever done any content, but that might not be true. I may have done a first look at something. I'm not sure which. But anyway, if you're interested in seeing something about this, not this particular game or this series, feel free to let me know via the comment section. Now we'll move on to the next one, and this is the twofer I was talking about. It is Italy 43. So this is the sequel to Salerno 43. And this is the 5th Army's advance to the Gustav Line. Of course, this is the 4X series from Mark Simonich. And I don't have the whole box quite in here, but there's his name right there. So as I mentioned, there are 2 elements to this. We have the game itself, which is in this smaller 1-inch box. I think it's a 1-inch box. And then we have this bigger box with actually has the mounted map board in it. So in this, I will do a first look for sure on this one. At the very least, I would like to do kind of a series on this particular series. A series on a series, yes. On the 4X series, Mark Simonich's series of Bond games. So we'll take a quick look at the back here. And you can see kind of the familiar look. This is an I think it's amphibious. Maybe it's not. We do have Naples down here. I'm not sure if it covers any landings or not. But it may tell... well, no, it's the advance from Naples to the Gustav Line in 1943. It's a 2-player game depicting U.S. 5th Army's advance from Naples to the Gustav Line in 1943. The game picks up where Salerno 43, that makes sense. Salerno was the landing. This was, duh, right? Covers the time period from October 2nd to December 31st, 1943. Initially, the Allied advance moved quickly with the 5th Army crossing the Volturno River on October 13th. But from then on, the Germans fought a stubborn delaying action to buy time for the fortification of the Bernhard and Gustav lines. Uses the same map and unit scales as Salerno and Normandy 44. Italy 43 uses the same game system used in Salerno 43 with some modifications and rule improvements, as in the other 19XX games. So I guess that's the official title, which means I've been using the wrong title. But anyway, as is the case in those other games, the rules include Zoc bonds, determined defense, extended movement, and a straightforward CRT. All of that stuff is kind of a featured element of this particular series. You can see here complexity is mid-range, and so is solitaire suitability. It is a 2-player game and takes 2 to 6 hours to complete. What do we have in the box? A map, a counter sheet, rules booklet, allied setup and reinforcement card, a German setup and reinforcement card, 2 identical CRT and TEC terrain effect chart, player aid cards, and 2 6-sided dice. This one will have the same stuff on the back, but what's in the box is the mounted map. So this one will have the paper map, and the other one will have the mounted map. So I will show that when I do my first look. Then we have an oldie. This is a reprint, new edition of Next War, Taiwan. This is the 2nd edition. Of course, this was a Gene Billingsley system design, and it has been picked up by Mitchell Land over the last several games in the series. So this one, of course, is Taiwan. Kind of a realistic, I guess, place where there could be some conflict here in the near future. So this is, of course, as I mentioned, the 2nd edition. This game originally came out. Well, it says 2410 on it, so that's its track number by GMT. Okay, so you can see the map here. There is Taiwan, a very mountainous island. Got some very severe terrain here in kind of along the spine of the island there. 90 miles of uneasy peace erupt into fury as missiles and drones rain from the sky, shattering ships, vehicles, and men all across Taiwan and the Strait. As alerts spread across the island nation and the Pacific at large, the message is the same. The PLAN is coming. Okay, so that is the People's Liberation Army Navy, I think, which is the Chinese Navy. So, an army. So you have 2 levels of complexity. That's pretty standard for this series. We have standard and advanced. Solitaire suitability is, again, mid-range, but it is, of course, a 2-player game. Unit scale, pretty standard for this series. Division, brigades, regiments, and battalions. Map scale, 7.5 miles per hex. Each game turn is 3.5 days. So we have our 34 by 22 or 22 by 34 if you prefer, operational map, and a 22 by 17 map extension. The total play map area, I guess, is 22 by 41 inches. We have a 34 by 22 inch strategic map display. 4.5 sheets of 9/16-inch counters, 1 standard and 1 advanced game series rule booklet, or I guess it's just 1 rule booklet. 1 game-specific rule booklet for the rules that are specific to this particular entry. 9 player aids and charts, which are 7, 8.5 by 11 inch, and 2 are 11 by 17 inch, and 2 10-sided die read as 0 through 9. So again, first look will be coming up for this in the not too distant future. And then there is one more that I got. And that is this one, Unconditional Surrender, the Western Campaigns. So this one is kind of a smaller version of the game Unconditional Surrender. That's kind of the basis for this. So you can see it's got Poland, France, Norway, Italy, and French North Africa in it. It is designed by Salvatore Vasta and Alan Hill. Salvatore Vasta is the designer of the original Unconditional Surrender game, which I think is up on P500 for a reprint. So you got the Rainbow Division there, I think, on the back. So this is a strategic level game covering World War II campaigns fought between the Axis and Western Allied factions in Western Europe, such as Poland, Scandinavia, France, and Italy. You decide how far to push your successful spearheads, not knowing how far the rest of your units will advance. You deal with the limitations of available forces and assets. You choose where to land your amphibious invasions. Can you strike the right balance for success by deciding between timidity and recklessness and where to commit your air and other assets? This is a mid-range game. It is a 2-player game, but the solitaire value of 7 is pretty high. Half hour to 4 hours, probably depends on which one you're doing here. You can see all the various maps that cover various areas that are in this game. Inside, we've got 5 maps, and well, 5 8.5 by 11-inch maps, so relatively small maps, like paper size. Well, a normal US-sized paper size. 1 8.5 by 22-inch map. I'm guessing that's the North Africa map. Makes sense. 2 11 by 17-inch player aid cards, 1 8.5 by 11-inch faction card, 280 counters on 1 sheet, and 2 6-sided dice. So, it says here, it is derived from the game Unconditional Surrender, World War II in Europe. They each have the same unit and map scale and use the same rules for air, ground, and combat mechanics. However, more strategic elements, such as diplomacy, strategic warfare, etc., have been abstracted or removed in Unconditional Surrender Western campaigns to simplify the rules and reduce playing time. So there you have it. All right, turns are monthly, and each map hex is 30 to 40 miles. Unit scale, army, fleet, or wing. So we're going to end it here on this one. We will be doing video on this as well. So look forward to that. One of the reasons I do this is you can let me know what you would prefer to see first, or, you know, other, like, I'm sure some of you would be in favor of the Simonich series. I don't have all of them, but I have a lot of them. So I can do a series on that. Do you want to see Next War Taiwan 2nd edition? Do you want to see something from Levy and Campaign and Seljuk in particular, or maybe something else? Or do you want to see this guy right here? Just feel free to post that stuff in the comments. I do read all my comments, and I do respond to the vast majority. I don't reply to trolls occasionally. I try not to anyway, but luckily there haven't been that many of them. Anyway, we are done for now. Quick shout out to my members. They are a big part of supporting the channel. I think we have 8 now, and so quick shout out to those guys. Thank you for your support. It is greatly appreciated. If you would like to become a member, you can do that by clicking the join button. There's a short video you can watch to find out what's involved. But otherwise, just watching the video is support. You can increase that support by subscribing. So another shout out to my subscribers. You can also do it by liking and or sharing the video. Any of those things is great, helps support the channel that extra little bit, and is greatly appreciated. But even if you don't do any of that stuff, hopefully you will come back and watch something else down the road. That's going to do it for now. I'm Joe. This is Hexed Encountered. And until next time, as always, happy gaming.